You check the news before you check your email now. Every week it's another headline, another company restructuring, another 5,000-person layoff, and somewhere in the third paragraph the word AI shows up, like it's being blamed for the weather. So here's the question you're actually asking, even if you haven't said it out loud. Is my job next? And more importantly, would I even know what to do about it if it was? I'm not going to tell you that's paranoid. In the first 3 months of this year alone, tech companies cut over 110,000 jobs, more than all of last year combined, and the pace is accelerating, not slowing down. Nearly half of those cuts were explicitly tied to AI automation, in the company's own words. But here's what I'm also not going to do: sell you fear. Because when I actually pulled the data on this, not the headlines, the actual numbers, the real picture is stranger, more specific, and honestly more useful than AI is coming for everyone. Some of what's happening isn't really about AI at all, and the part that is real has an exact dollar number attached to it that almost nobody is talking about. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how much money you personally need sitting in the bank to make this a non-issue, whether AI touches your job in 6 months or never. My name is Max, and I spend way too much time thinking about why financial advice that sounds smart is so often wrong. And right now, AI is going to take your job might be the most anxiety-inducing headline in personal finance, with the least actual financial guidance attached to it. Let's fix that. Hit subscribe if you want more of this. Let's start with what's actually verified, not vibes. Goldman Sachs estimates AI is displacing roughly 16,000 US jobs a month right now. Challenger, Gray, and Christmas, the firm that's tracked layoffs since the 1980s, found AI was cited in 13% of all US layoffs so far this year, up from under 5% last year. That's not a rounding error. That's a trend line moving in one direction. And it's not evenly spread. Stanford's Digital Economy Lab tracked 4.6 million workers across 25,000 companies and found something specific. Employment for software developers aged 22 to 25 has dropped 20% compared to where it was in late 2022. Not senior engineers, entry level. The jobs that used to be the on-ramp into tech are the ones disappearing fastest. The occupations research consistently flags as highest risk: financial services, information technology, administrative support, customer service, clerical work. The occupations flagged as lowest risk: healthcare, construction, emergency services, anything that requires physically being somewhere and dealing with unpredictable humans in real time. So if you're in one of those high exposure categories, no, you're not imagining it. But here's the twist almost nobody in the AI panic conversation is telling you. Some of the scariest headlines you've read this year weren't actually about AI at all. Let me show you exactly which ones. Here's where it gets more interesting than the headlines suggest. In February of this year, Block, the company behind Cash App, cut 4,000 jobs, 40% of its workforce, and Jack Dorsey publicly credited intelligence tools for the decision. Intelligence tools is doing a lot of heavy lifting in that sentence, right up there with synergy and right-sizing in the corporate Hall of Fame for phrases that mean something much simpler and much worse. The stock jumped 22% on the news. Sounds like a clean AI story, right? Except Oxford Economics looked closer and called Block a company that had been bloated for so long, a pandemic-era overhiring correction that got dressed up in AI language, because "we automated your job" sounds a lot better to investors than "we hired too many people in 2021 and are now fixing that." Even OpenAI's own CEO has said this out loud. Companies are blaming AI for layoffs they would have made anyway. A Gartner study of 350 global executives found something telling. Companies that cut staff citing AI weren't actually seeing better financial returns than companies that didn't. Nearly 6 in 10 executives admitted they frame cuts as AI-driven, even when the real driver is just financial. This has a name now. Analysts are calling it AI washing, the corporate version of greenwashing. Except instead of pretending to be environmentally friendly, companies are pretending a normal cost-cutting decision is actually a bold technological leap forward, because that story plays better on an earnings call. So here's the honest, slightly uncomfortable truth. Some of what feels like an AI apocalypse in the headlines is actually just companies doing what companies have always done, with better PR. I'm not telling you this to make you relax completely. I'm telling you this so you're worried about the right thing. Here's the sharper version of the risk, because some layoffs are fake AI stories isn't actually the takeaway. This is. The Yale Budget Lab looked specifically at whether AI-exposed workers were staying unemployed longer than everyone else. As of their most recent analysis, not really, not yet. What they did find is that AI is suppressing new hiring more than it's destroying existing jobs. Fewer entry-level positions are being created in exposed fields, even as existing workers in those same fields mostly haven't been shown the door en masse. Which means the real risk isn't necessarily you get fired next Tuesday. The real risk is quieter. If your role is in a high-exposure category, your job security depends more than it used to on your company's financial health and your specific value inside it. Because the safety net of, "I'll just get another job like this one," is measurably thinner than it was 3 years ago, especially at the entry level. That's a real risk. It's just a different, more specific risk than the headline version. Okay, quick, honest question. If I asked you right now exactly how many months of expenses you personally should have saved, could you actually answer with a number? Most people can't, because the standard advice was never built for this moment. Here's the version that actually is. Standard financial guidance has said for years, keep 3 to 6 months of expenses in an emergency fund. That number wasn't built with AI-accelerated hiring freezes in specific sectors in mind, but it turns out to be a genuinely useful starting framework. You just need to know where you land on it. Here's the math. Take your monthly essential expenses, rent, food, insurance, minimum debt payments, the stuff that doesn't stop if your income does. Multiply that by your risk tier. If you're in a low-exposure field, healthcare, skilled trades, anything requiring physical presence, 3 months of expenses is still a reasonable target. The data doesn't show your category shrinking. If you're in a moderate exposure field, most office and management roles, 6 months is the more honest number, because rehiring timelines in adjacent roles have gotten longer, not because you're about to be replaced. If you're in a high-exposure entry-level or highly automatable role, junior developer, customer service, data entry, administrative support, 9 to 12 months is what the actual hiring data justifies right now, specifically because the Stanford numbers show it's taking meaningfully longer for people in these exact categories to land the next role. For a household spending $3,500 a month on essentials, that's the difference between a $10,500 target and a $42,000 one. And that gap is exactly why just save an emergency fund as generic advice doesn't help you if nobody tells you which end of that range you're actually in. And if reading that gap just made your stomach drop a little, congratulations. You've now done more real financial planning in the last 10 seconds than most just save for emergencies advice ever actually asks of you. Well, here's what I want you to walk away and do. First, figure out your actual risk tier. Not vibes. Look up your specific job title against the research categories I mentioned. If you're in financial services, IT, admin, or customer service, assume you're in the 6 to 12 month category until proven otherwise. Second, calculate your real monthly essential expenses, not your total spending, just the number that doesn't go away if your paycheck does, and multiply it by your tier's target. That's your actual number. Write it down. And no, texting it to yourself and never opening that message again does not count as writing it down. Third, if the gap between what you have and that number is large, don't panic save all at once. Automate a fixed transfer the day you get paid, even if it's small. The Stanford data on hiring slowdowns took years to show up. You have time to build this. You just need to actually start. Fourth, and this one doesn't get said enough, the best insurance against a shrinking on-ramp in your field isn't just cash. It's making yourself harder to automate inside your current role. The research is clear that AI displaces tasks faster than it displaces entire jobs. The people getting cut aren't usually the ones who've made themselves the person who manages the AI tools, not the person doing only what the AI tools now do. Here's what I actually want you to walk away with. The headlines aren't lying to you exactly. AI-driven layoffs are real. They're accelerating. And if you're in an exposed field, that's worth taking seriously. But a meaningful chunk of what gets blamed on AI is just normal corporate cost-cutting wearing a more fundable costume. Your job isn't to panic at every headline. Your job is to know your actual number and have it sitting in the bank before you need it. If this gave you a clearer, calmer way to think about this than the last 10 AI panic videos you've watched, hit subscribe. I've got more videos coming that pull the real data on the financial fears everyone's talking about, but almost nobody's actually breaking down. Drop a comment telling me your risk tier. I read every single one. I'll see you in the next one.